look at his stats, he actually he finished the season with 18 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and he only played 6 games. He also finished a season with 14 touchdowns, and I think it was like 9. I don't have that one up here, but he had like I said, a 17 and a 14, but he hasn't played a full season. So that's the one part that I am worrisome of is, can he make it to that 11 game mark for Deshaun to start? If we can get through that, then I do believe that we do win quite a few games in that stint, because Jacoby Brissett is not a quarterback to be slept on. There's been a lot of talks about Jimmy Garoppolo also coming. I do not see that happening. There's no chance, in my opinion, just with the pure amount of money that we spent on Deshaun already. And then, being a Browns fan, injuries plagued us early already. We have our starting center that we replaced J.C. Treader with. He already is on injury reserve and is expected to miss at least 8 games. And then we have our starting our backup offensive tackle is hurt, as well as our backup offensive guard, right guard. And I'm not going to say much about Deshaun Watson. I know everyone wants to talk about Deshaun Watson. Him being out 11 games is going to be a big hitter, especially with his comeback. 1-5 for 5 yards, I think, right? Am I wrong on that? 1-6 for 5 yards?
It wasn't. It was not a sight to behold.
It was not pretty. He missed a couple open throws. But like I said, we'll see what happens. Kareem Hunt wanting a new contract and wanting out is a little scary, because, as we know, probably, in my opinion, the best backfield. You might be able to argue a little bit, but I would say top 2, top 3 for sure, with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt back there. And then our receiving core, we have 2 rookies, and David Bell, as well as Anthony Schwartz is back there. And Donovan Peoples-Jones will be leading that receiving core. If they can all stay healthy, I do see us doing well. And then I think my last one was just a question mark on this, and you guys might be able to jump in on this. Myles Garrett, possibly the sack leader this year. Our defense is definitely going to have to lead us like normal. But I do have them going, and this is a real hot take. I have them going 10-7, and I do have them tying the Pittsburgh Steelers for 2nd and 3rd.
Okay. I like it.
Splitting almost every AFC North game, by the way, just saying, because that's how the AFC North works. You split the games. You always the Bengals. We'll split with the Bengals no matter what, pretty much. We'll split with the Ravens, and then we'll split with the Steelers as well.
Pete?
Is it Brissett? Is that how you say his last name?
Jacoby Brissett, yeah.
Brissett. Okay.
I think it's Brissett.
Okay, I just wasn't sure. I think
it's pronounced brisket.
I think they go 3rd in the division, because I think the Ravens are just going to have too many issues. But I think I have some faith in Jacoby Brissett. I think he's an okay game manager, and that's all he's really going to be asked to do. He's not going to go crazy. They're just going to say, just limp us to week 13.
I agree.
You took the words right out of my mouth. Damn it.
Yeah.
All right, Tim, go ahead.
So I got the Browns coming in last, but not negative record. I have them coming at 9-8. I guess they lose too many tiebreakers to the Ravens or Bengals. Steelers don't really matter. There's too many head-to-heads. Matt, you didn't mention that they traded for Amari Cooper. Like, they robbed the Cowboys. The Cowboys.
Yeah. The only issue I have with Amari, and the reason I didn't mention him, is again because I think that your guys' dad actually mentioned it. He's going to get hurt. He's an injury-prone receiver, and I think we spent too much for him. And you're right, we did rob him, but with the fact that he gets hurt as much as he does, it's worrisome of whether or not he can stay healthy. If he stays healthy, man, you're 100% right. It is a steal. But that's a big if. He already got hurt in training camp once. I think he hurt his foot or something like that. So.
All right, I respect that. But still, they I talked about the song for you. They signed him for $230 million. Every year he played, he always had wide receiver 1, Will Fuller, Brandon Cooks. So after week 11, I think Amari Cooper could be the wide receiver one area for those 5-6 weeks he plays.
Yep.
So, but that's why I think Pete said Jacoby Brissett is the game manager, so that's why I don't have him going negative. I think he wins enough games until Deshaun Watson gets back.
Bill.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Deshaun Watson is the main factor here. I'm not sleeping on Jacoby Brissett. He's obviously had a ton of starts. He started a bunch of games in Miami when Tua was hurt, another quarterback that I'm not super high on. We'll get into them later. So I'm not necessarily sleeping on Jacoby Brissett, but he is not in any realm Deshaun Watson. And as such, when you build a team around an individual for quarterback, for instance, like I already said about the Lamar Jackson, Tyler Huntley thing, at least Tyler Huntley is a similar skill set to Lamar Jackson. So you've built the offense around that. That's pretty much what you're predicated on. Unfortunately, Jacoby Brissett is not the same talent skill set as Deshaun Watson. So you kind of become one individual offensive skill set oriented. And listen, yeah, you know, they've got Nick Chubb, they've got Kareem Hunt, they have Amari Cooper when he's healthy. They have offensive weapons. However, I just don't think Jacoby Brissett is going to be as adequate at putting them in positions to be successful. So again, if they can limp into week 13 with Jacoby Brissett at quarterback and they can find a way to be just above 500, maybe they get to the 10-win mark. I don't see it. I've got them at 9-8 and in finishing last in the division, right behind the Steelers.
I also have them at 9-8, finishing last. Jacoby Brissett's a poor man. It's Jimmy Garoppolo, if you think about it. He's a game manager, which is exactly what Garoppolo was. He's in a very similar situation that Garoppolo was in last year, too. It's a run-dominated team with a top 2 offensive line, 2 very good running backs, a number 1 receiver that when healthy can play, he can ball, and a defense that's pretty good. I mean, he's not going to be asked to do a whole lot. He doesn't have to do a whole lot, and this is the hottest take I'm going to deliver on this show. Jacoby Brissett is going to outplay Deshaun Watson. Now, Deshaun Watson's obviously going to start when he comes back because money talks. Deshaun Watson at that point in time would have missed 28 games in a row and not have played for almost 2 full seasons. He is going to come back. He's going to look like crap. The Browns are going to be like 7-4-ish probably with Jacoby Brissett, and they might win 2 more games after that. I mean, ultimately, it's going to take the rest of the season for Deshaun Watson to shake off the rust, which is going to cause people like Matthew in Cleveland to go nuts and think that they made the wrong decision.
Which we didn't.
Yeah, I don't think they did in the long run, but I heed a warning to Browns fans: do not expect a lot from Deshaun Watson when he comes back. Like I said, he's going to miss almost 2 full seasons and 28 games. He didn't play it all last year. He didn't practice it all last year. Now he can't practice again because he's suspended. So it just don't have any expectations for the Browns. I actually think Jacoby Brissett outplays Deshaun Watson. That's just the reality of the situation. I don't have any expectations for Deshaun Watson to carry this team into the playoffs. Now, if he does, by some miracle of God, that'd be incredible. That'd be one of the better comeback stories of football. But that's just my take on that. Is I don't expect anything from Deshaun Watson. So I think they fall flat on their face at the end of the season.
Now, I do have a question. So, say Deshaun Watson has 2 extremely terrible games. Do you start Jacoby Brissett over him?
If you're in a playoff picture, absolutely.
So, say that you are 7-4. You lose those 2 games. You're 7-6 with 3 games left. Or, well, that'd be 4 games left, right? And look at those last 4 games. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to pull up their schedule real quick because I am curious who those last 4 games are. Because I know that we played the Pittsburgh Steelers last, and we also played the Bengals in that time. If Jacoby Brissett has that good of a 7-4 start, right? Like, what are the odds that we start him over Deshaun Watson?
I don't think there's any chance you start him over Deshaun Watson.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with Bill.
I don't think they end up doing it just because money talks. They went out and got an asset. They traded a lot for him. They paid him, high dollars. But it's something that should be talked about if all those scenarios unfold. Now, Jacoby Brissett comes out and goes 0-11. Obviously, they're not even going to consider it. But if he comes out and plays well,
Also, we did re-sign Jadeveon Clowney, which is another one that we didn't even talk about, which is another big edge rusher on top of Myles Garrett. I think, I guess I wouldn't even say it's a hot take, but I'd say that we're top 5 defense this year as well. With that being a chance, do you think that the defense is good enough to carry us into a possible wild card spot?
Yeah, I would say between the defense and the run game, they're going to have to. Between Brissett being a game manager and Watson not having played in almost 2 years.
Also, we play the Panthers first game, so let's see what happens there. I'm sure everyone's excited about that game. I mean, a lot of you guys, as you guys know, I mean, being football guys, we're actually paying Baker Mayfield for that game. So that'll be a very, very interesting thing to unfold for sure.
Is that game home or away for you guys?
That is home.
Oh, wow. I think Baker beat you guys, so.
I believe. Hold on. Actually, that is in North Carolina.
Yeah, I think the Panthers win.
That being said, we're going to kind of switch gears here. We are going to go to the NFC. Oh, look who's leading off. The Minnesota Vikings. Peter, you get to hit for us. Bat and lead off. Give us the Vikings.
Here's the thing. I do this every year. All offseason, I think they're going to be terrible. And about 3 weeks before, I convince myself that I think they might win. I think they might start out 7-1.
Wow.
Okay.
Who's in that first 8-game stint, if you don't mind me asking, or if you can remember a few.
I can't remember off the top of my head.
I can pull it up. Give me a second.
Just because
anyway,
I am
keep going.
curious.
Bill will get the information. Keep going.
I think they're going to beat the Packers, easily beat the Eagles. Shout out to you, Philly losers.
Oh, wow.
Beat the Lions, beat the Saints, beat the Bears, lose to the Dolphins, beat the Cardinals.
You don't even work on the show and you're fired.
Jalen Hurts is damn good, man. Yo, chill.
I think they're going to win the division easy. I got them going first. I think they're going to win 12 games.
Wow. With how good
With how good who is?
Okay, Matt, with how good who is, where are the Vikings going?
I actually have the Vikings at third or last with now hold on.
That's a super hot take.
It is.
They're going 1 or 2.
So Green Bay's gonna win. Now the biggest reason why I'm saying that is
ladies and gentlemen, we have a smoking hot take here on BSing Sports. Go ahead, Matthew.
So are they good? Yes. I don't think that they have enough weapons. I don't know a crazy amount about the Vikings, like I said, but I mean, you got Aaron Rodgers.
Let me. I want to go next. Go ahead, finish, man. But I want to go next.
Yeah. So
okay, Tim, you're going next.
Thank you.
So the Packers, I think win it. I mean, you have Aaron Rodgers. He's gonna whip those young guys into shape. And I don't know
the young guys' names. Do you know any of them?
No. I'm gonna be honest, I don't. But also, it's a toss-up for me, but I'm an Ohio State fan, and I really think with the line additions that the Chicago Bears have, like I think Justin Fields does really well this year, and I think that he ends up leading that offense. I don't think they go better than a 9-8, maybe a 10-7, but I do think they outplay the Vikings to take the second spot.
I just threw up. Nobody saw it, but I just threw up. Anyway, Bill, since you're my running partner, I will abide by your requests. You can go next.
Well, thank you.
That is a horrible, horrible, horrible take, man. I'm sorry. That's just absolutely horrendous. No. You've got Justin Jefferson. Listen, I understand that Adam Thielen's getting a little bit older. I get it. However, Kirk Cousins has been one of the most consistent quarterbacks over the last 7 years. Extremely underrated. I'm one of the people who underrate him. I really am. I'll admit it. But for 5 straight seasons, he's thrown 4,600 or more yards, 30 or more touchdowns, and less than 15 interceptions. This is a quarterback who is the staple point of consistent. Again, so Justin Jefferson, probably let's not even play the best wide receiver in football. Arguably, you say Cooper Kupp, but Cooper Kupp is older. You can make the faces all you want. I'm not taking away my comment. So I've got the Vikings going first in the division this year at 12-5. And I'll explain the Packers when we get to the Packers. But for me, it's the Vikings.